Welcome to Voice Notes with Shyloh. I'm Shyloh, and this is a podcast where I speak to another person through voice notes for an entire week. What's going on with them? What are they working on? How's life? Those sorts of things. This week, I'm very excited, but before I get to that, have you rated the show? Because that would really help. But hey, you know what? If you just listen to it and enjoy it, that's okay too. You could share it with your friends though. That'd also be helpful. Anyway, I'm really excited because this week I have an awesome person that I've been talking to / exchanging voice notes with. I'm really excited. He is a very funny comedian, a writer, an actor, a producer, an all-around fun person, a dog parent. Please welcome to the podcast, Lahiru Samarasinghe. Good morning, Lahiru. Happy Monday and welcome. I thank you for doing this. We're going to do voice notes this week, and I'm really excited to talk to you via voice notes this week. I need to find a better name for the podcast, though, and that is not your problem, and it's not your responsibility either. But I had a really, really good weekend, except for I did get heat exhaustion because I was playing softball in a heat advisory. And I'm really proud of myself because I can be like the tough guy and be like, no, I'm just going to play. And even though I'm passing out and my vision is like leaving my body, but I didn't. I left the field when I had to. But I came home and I was having symptoms still and it was not getting better. So I called the nurse line to be like, should I go to the hospital? And then she was listening to what I had to say and was like, oh my, I don't know if you should or not. I think I should call a doctor. So she called the doctor. Turns out I did not need to go to the hospital just right then. But she was like, okay, here's how to take care of yourself. And here's what things to watch out for in case you need to come to the hospital. And I was telling her yeah, I'm drinking water, I'm hydrating, I'm drinking electrolytes. She goes, oh, I'm so glad you said electrolytes and not beer. And I was like, what do you mean beer? Why would I be drinking beer when I'm having heat exhaustion? That doesn't make any sense. Also, I'm sober. What did I say that made you think I was drinking beer? I mean, I'm not a doctor and I'm not the healthiest person, but I know not to drink beer when you're gonna have a heat exhaustion episode. Anyway, I'm feeling so much better now, except for that I woke up to realizing I missed a really important message over the weekend while I was super busy and heat exhausted, and I gotta find a better way to deal with the messages. With the job, plus the comedy, plus the family, plus the friends. I'm working on my social media boundaries. Anyway, how are you? What are you working on? What are you thinking about? What's on Lahiru's mind this week?
Hey, Shyloh. I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad you're feeling better from all the heat exhaustion stuff. I will say, as someone who does drink alcohol, it also would not occur to me to drink beer while heat exhausted. I just feel like that would almost make me more tired. Inherently, we all know it's a poison, so we're not going to drink it when we're not feeling well. But I'm doing pretty good. I had a not health-related, but a similar weather disaster situation this past weekend. So I was doing some shows at the Comedy Corner Underground, and I left my water bottle there on Saturday night, and come Sunday, I remember that my water bottle was there, and I figured, oh, I have some time, I'm just gonna go drive down and grab it, and oh, I don't want to leave my dog, alone in the apartment, I'll bring him with, and he can hang out in the car while we drive back and forth. Drive there was totally fine, but then the drive back home, I don't know if you experienced the terrible storm that happened last night, but I was fully driving in that, I was on the highway during that, and what made it scarier than most storms was whenever lightning was striking, it wasn't oh, the sky is lit up, or even oh, there's a streak of lightning. It was seconds of blinding light, and you could see the lightning strikes like strike down. Like lightning was striking essentially where I was. Very terrifying. But, you know, we made it home safe and sound, and all for the sake of my water bottle, which is now also safe and sound in my apartment. Hey, Shyloh. So this was a random thing that I was thinking about. Well, not random so much as I was listening to like an old episode of a podcast where they were talking about the whole, like, oh, men are always thinking about the Roman Empire, or they think about the Roman Empire like once a day. And here's the thing. This is what I was thinking of. I don't think of the Roman Empire ever. I don't care about it. And I would say most of my male... Sorry, checking to make sure my dog is not doing anything stupid. Most of my male friends are also not thinking of the Roman Empire. I do have one male friend who this does apply to, and he's straight up one of the most boring fucking people I could ever think of. So clearly that trend was applying to, like, straight white men and zero other people. This, you don't have to include this in the podcast. This is just a thought that I had, but I guess that's the point of this. So it's up to you whether you want to include this.
Okay, first of all, it's absolutely going on the podcast, and I just want to make sure, I don't know if I said this, but I won't be editing any of your voice notes. Whatever you send to me, you have sent to me, and that's what's going up. Also, Roman Empire, I don't get, like, okay, first of all, this is, like, I'm not, like, the quickest on trends. It takes me a while to, like, understand them. And I see all these women, usually women on social media and stuff, being like, this is my Roman Empire. And then, like, the Gen Z girls, too, in comedy that I see, sometimes they'll be like, oh my God, that's my Roman Empire. And I asked them, what does that mean? And they're like, you know, because guys are always talking about the Roman Empire. And I was like, I guess I don't connect with guys in that particular way, in like a Roman Empire kind of way, I guess. So anyway, doesn't surprise me that your Roman Empire friend is a straight white dude, because I have a story, and this feels like a Roman Empire moment. We're at a concert, me and my girlfriend, we're gay, that's important to the story. And then there's a straight couple behind us. They're on like their first, if it's not their first date, it's an early date. They're getting to know each other. The guy is speaking over the music, very loud, yelling about his tires and explaining tie rods to this poor girl who's just trying to get laid. Honestly, and if she doesn't know what they are, she doesn't care. There's no reason to explain what tie rods on your car are. There's just no reason for that. So it gets to the point that my girlfriend turns around and is like, no one cares about your fucking tires, which sounds mean, but you had to be there. And the guy was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he was like, well, you gotta be nice. But the girl was like, oh, thank you. She didn't say that, but the whole night she was like smiling at us and so happy we were there. And then afterwards, my girlfriend was like, yeah, that makes sense, because I noticed afterwards she actually had a chance to speak in the whole conversation. And like, here's the thing, the guy, I don't think he'll ever realize that we saved him that night. And by we, I mean my girlfriend, because if he had not stopped talking about the tie rods on his car, that girl was not gonna go home with him. I was just so grateful to be gay, because I have never had to pretend that I don't know what tie rods are, and I've never had to care whether or not I know what tie rods are in order to hook up with somebody. So I guess that was a Roman Empire moment, maybe? This particular run of voice notes is going to be the most authentic of any of them that I've done so far, because I didn't even listen to the first one you sent until just now, because I thought the second one you sent was the first one you sent, because as people who are listening to this cannot see, I accidentally sent you back your own voice note when I was trying to save it to my phone, and that's just very me. It's very me, and that's just the production. That is how this podcast is produced, in that very organized format like that. No, but all of that was to say that storm was wild. And we actually got lucky because we didn't get like as much as was predicted for it. But there was like a lightning strike that I'm pretty sure my partner lives like 20 minutes away from me. And I'm pretty sure we saw the same lightning strike. It was like, whoa, what a lightning strike that was.
Yeah, here's the thing though, is I do think that this is one of the like best production methods of a podcast though, because it gets around all of the difficult parts of podcasting, right? Like you don't need to meet with the guests. There's no real like specific topic that needs to like come up. It's kind of whatever, like it still has the, I guess, authenticity of a conversation, but like stretched over a week with like none of the scheduling conflict issues, which I don't know. I don't know. I think that makes it a great podcast. Yeah, I know. I'm sending this. This is my first voice note of Tuesday, and it's currently 11:38 p.m. I had a busy day of work, followed by therapy, followed by a several-hour-long session of Magic the Gathering, all, I would say, equally important to my mental health, right? Because we've got work, which is obviously detrimental. That's what work is. Therapy, which is helpful. And then Magic the Gathering, which is both, I think, is what it is. Magic the Gathering is both helpful and detrimental to your mental health, depending on how each game goes. I thought here, okay, speaking of the storm, my dog was with me while I was driving in the storm. So let's see if we can get him to do a little guest appearance here. Hello. I don't know how much his slobbering showed up on that voice recording. I was hoping he would sniff the phone like many dogs on TikTok do, but he's not like other dogs. He's actually very different from the other dogs you see on TikTok. Yeah, I guess that was officially Farlow's third, I think, podcast appearance. So he's about as experienced as me in the podcasting world, which I will process that as I see fit. Also, your girlfriend is a literal saint. She saved both parties from that date from one another. And I think if straight dates need anything, it is a lesbian intruding on them. I think that would solve most of the problems that happen on straight dates.
I don't know exactly how I feel about the way you described how I'm producing this podcast, because everything you said, it makes me feel so seen and like so like you understand me. Like I just have this warm feeling Lahiru understands me, and I have this feeling like Lahiru just read me for filth, because those are all exactly the reasons why I'm doing it this way. I think it's just a little bit more in tune with the rhythm of my life at this moment, and not having to schedule and do a ton of editing and things like that. And I won't be editing these. So your dog's slobbering all over the audio definitely came through. Love it. I love dogs. And it won't be edited out. So if people don't like the slobber noise, I'm sorry. And if you love it, you're welcome. Wow, your dog has quite the list of credits and podcasts right now. That's kind of amazing. I was excited because it's my first podcast dog, but I guess your dog is much more versed in the podcast space than me in as well. So yeah, we can both contemplate that a little bit. I guess it's not Voice Notes with Shyloh isn't his big debut, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. That's fine. I actually just recorded another podcast early this morning with someone from the UK. They do this really lovely podcast about like interviewing artists who are also comedians, and we just draw and have a little chat about being an artist and a comedian, and it was so nice. And there's something really like sweet and calming about you're having a conversation, you're both like drawing, and it's just, I don't know, it brings it down to like a really comfortable level, and I'm excited to see how that turns out. Also, in other news in Shyloh's life, I'm getting a haircut today, and I don't know about you or how you manage your hair, but for me, as soon as I need a haircut, that's the moment when I make the appointment. But my hairstylist books out like 3 weeks ahead of time because she's incredible. And so now I'm almost a month overdue on this haircut. And have you ever seen that news story where there was like a sheep or like a mountain goat, a sheep, I think, and it had been lost in a cave, and its wool had overgrown so much it could barely, like, how is it even alive? That's how I feel right now. Hey, do you ever do the thing where you're like thinking about something you did, like maybe a podcast or a video or an interview or something where there wasn't really an outline or a script and you didn't know what you were going to say going into it, and then in the moment you're like, this was really fun, and then afterwards you're like, oh no, what did I say? Did I say something stupid? And it's like, you could spiral out about that, or you could just be like, you know what, of course I said something stupid, I absolutely did, no one cares. And here's what I'm trying to tell you. I really just needed a snack. Sometimes you just need a snack. And or actually it was more of a lunch.
Okay, so a few things. One, when you started talking about the goat meme, I thought you were about to start talking about the, like, goat that's, like, climbing sideways up a mountain and, like, licking the salt off the mountain wall, and it just says, like, they crave that mineral underneath. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to relate to your haircut, but I'm sure you will get there somehow. But no, exciting that you're getting your haircut. I got my first, like, long haircut a couple weeks ago. Like, all the hair that I've been growing, like, getting longer and longer, it, like, truly I had not had a haircut in, like, I want to say 3 or 4 years. And then I got my first haircut a couple weeks ago. It's still long. Basically what I did is I sat down on the chair and said, help, I've never had long hair before and I don't know what to do. Make me look good, please. And I vaguely have bangs now, which honestly did not come to mind when I was thinking of, like, how I thought my hair would end up, but I don't mind it. I actually kind of really enjoy it. What was the other thing I was... you were talking about... like, have I said anything stupid? Like, whatever, like recording a podcast and stuff like that. And I have to say, I feel like that's what happens with every podcast recording, and I'm trying my best to replicate that in this podcast, because I have not listened back to a single recording that I have sent you. And you've warned me multiple times that nothing is getting edited from this podcast, and let me tell you, it has not made me double check anything at all. But I'm having a good time nonetheless. I'm sure I've already said something stupid, but I won't know until the episode comes out. I'll listen to it then, but not before that. But as far as stuff that I'm up to today, I'm filming a sketch by myself in my apartment. I've dedicated the night to doing that, like filming it, editing it, running it by a couple friends, and then posting it tomorrow. Basically, if you see a new sketch tomorrow, that will be because I chose to post it. There's a chance that I will do all of this work all night today and then never post it, but I guess we will see.
Post that sketch. I look forward to seeing it today. So the goat licked its way up the side of a mountain. That is something I could actually do. I feel like I could absolutely do that. I'm going to see the Pixies tonight, and I'm so excited, and I'm just sitting in my car right now like, this monkey's gone to heaven. What does that even mean? That Doolittle album was such an influential part of my adolescence, And then I was so excited because I'm going to go see Pixies. And then I was like looking at their Spotify and I was like, oh my God, they've put out like so many albums since their 1989 album that they put out 3 weeks before I was born. And that, is something I didn't consider, that they wouldn't just be playing all of my favorite songs, but it's going to be great. I'm sure they're going to play the classics. And I'm sure no one else has heard any of the other albums either. Are you a wishful scheduler? I've been wishfully scheduling. I scheduled myself a car appointment on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Monday, for starters, 7 a.m. I can be up by 7 a.m., but to be physically at a place by 7 a.m., that's another story altogether. But here's the thing, my car's making noises, and I waited until the next oil change. It's been making noises for a while, but I didn't want to bring it in twice, and so I just let it make the noises, and who would have thunk that now the noises are worse?
Yeah, I posted the sketch this morning, and it went, like, really well. I was honestly, like, I mean, because you saw the sketch, it's a lot of me kind of yelling in my own apartment by myself. And so I was really, like, unsure of how it was going to go, but I think it was received pretty well, which makes me very happy, because, like, I was proud of the end product, and so I'm glad that people liked it as well. And it makes me want to do more sketches that are like that, where, like, I'm kind of both on camera and off camera, kind of playing both parts and reacting and all that stuff. I don't know. It was a very fun sketch to make, and I'm glad that it went well. But as far as your car debacles, and ignoring the sound until it was convenient for you to address it, I'm realizing now that this is going to be the second story in this podcast episode that has to do with me driving in the rain. But when I first got my car, I had a similar situation where, like, I was kind of ignoring maintenance until it was a problem. I wasn't getting my tires rotated because, A, I didn't understand exactly what that term meant, and B, I didn't want to because that meant not doing other things that I would rather be doing. And so I didn't rotate my tires for, I think, genuinely, like, 2 or 3 years of having my current car. And one day while driving to work, I was driving in the rain, and I was on, like, 94, and I started hydroplaning, and I hydroplaned both back and forth across 4 lanes of traffic. Two semis driving by, like, genuinely almost fucking died. And so then I was like, oh, well, maybe I should get new tires, because clearly this needs to be fixed. I went to Goodyear to get the tires changed. Like, basically, these were, like, beyond, like, rotation or repair. It was like, you have to get new ones. And when I got there, the guy was like, yeah, I don't know how you were possibly driving with these. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And he brings me over to my car and points out, do you see the treads? And I said, no. And he's like, exactly. Your tires are... Like, basically, I had driven for so long without rotating my tires that they straight up didn't have... They were flat, slick tires. Of course I was gliding across the water. It looked like I was driving a car that was designed to glide across water. That's how dangerous the situation was. But I'm glad you're taking care of your car, even if it was maybe later than was probably needed. But I hope everything is still intact and good, and that ignoring the noise didn't cause any larger problems. Also, yeah, I'm like really... I feel bad because I've had a couple of busy days, and so I, like... Basically what I've been doing for the past couple days is recording, like, a 4-minute long voice note at fucking midnight every single day, rather than, like, stuff throughout the day. I know it's going to be fine, but I'm expressing the fact that I feel bad anyway, and that's the 4-minute mark. Okay, cool.
Your sketch was so good, Lahiru. You should definitely keep writing like that. I think I liked it on both Instagram and TikTok. And what was I doing there? Shame on me. I'm trying to stay away from those things. But I was doing legit work and answering messages and stuff. Anyway, it was really, really good. And I look forward to the next things you write. Your car, however, holy smokes, that does make me feel better. I am like super worried. I have to make it till Monday, so that's like 2-3 more days. And I have to do a little bit of driving, not too much, but oh man, the noise is getting worse and worse. And I know I should anyway, it's probably fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine, I'm sure. Don't even apologize about timing because no one's ever gonna know. I don't put timestamps on these when I post it or anything like that. I am working at Laugh Camp tonight and tomorrow night, doing a little Friday and Saturday opening up situation. And I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know the person I'm opening for, and those tend to be really fun. Actually, it's really fun no matter what. I really like working there. I always have a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. And by that, I mean, I'm currently doing my makeup. And I actually forgot that I was in the middle of doing my makeup until right now because I was listening to your voice note and I'm glad I remembered. So I remember to finish my makeup. Could you imagine, like, I'm sure no one would notice or even care that much. Someone would notice, but I don't know how much they'd care. Just like one eye, just like thick eyeliner or whatever. Like, it'd be one of those nights where I'm like deciding to go like crazy, like borderline drag glitter, whatever, and just like forget to do half my face. Anyway, that's not what's happening now. I hope you're staying indoors from all this smoke. I would love to go outside again. It's been so long. When will these fires stop? Oh my God. Okay, that was me being dramatic about it. But I do need to go get ready, and I will talk to you soon.
I'm glad you had I hope you had a good weekend at Laugh Camp. Laugh Camp is always, it's a very fun place to do shows, and like, it's like a good environment. I don't know, it's like a fun place to meet the new comics that, or not new comics, but comics that are new to you, or like, meeting new to you comics. It's fun to meet people that you haven't met before who are comics at Laugh Camp. I haven't been there in a while, but I would like to do that again. I was just at Sisyphus yesterday, and that was a super fun show. A group of my friends who are all now kind of... here's the thing about the friends that came to the show is we all were in college together, and I guess I was under the impression that we had all kind of done the college thing and spread out across the country, not to see each other that often again, once we've graduated college. I learned over the course of this weekend that we all live literally within 10 minutes of each other, which is super, super nice. And so hopefully that means we'll be hanging out with each other a lot more. But yeah, the show was fun. Having those friends there was super fun. And actually right now, I'm getting ready to drop Farlow off at doggy daycare so I can drive over to Madison, Wisconsin. Partly to hang out with a friend who lives over there now, but also because I'm in the Madison Comedy Week there, and so I'll be doing a couple shows down there, which is super fun. I still have not packed yet, and I was supposed to leave in, let's say, an hour, so best of luck to me, I suppose.
I did have a really good time at Laugh Camp this weekend. It's a good place to meet the new to me comics, and we can talk about headliners that come through town like they're used cars. It's a new to me comic. No, it was super fun though. It was it was just a really good weekend, and that's always awesome. I hope when you go to Madison that you don't have as much wildfire smoke, because this stuff is getting to me. I'm having headaches and feeling sick, and I was like looking at the map. It's like, oh, we might get some clean air pretty soon, but who knows for how long. It looks like we'll probably get another wave of it. It's been so bad all summer. Anyway, I will move on. Hey, Lahiru, thank you so much for doing the podcast this week. And honestly, just sending voice notes has been super fun. I always love talking to you. You kind of told us what you have going on, but make sure to send me just like one more note where you can tell people like how to find you and what things you have coming up. But thank you so much. This was really fun, and I will hopefully be seeing you pretty soon in person. So I hope you have a really good time in Madison, and congrats on making the comedy week out there. I hope it's a really, really awesome time.
God, it sounds so like apocalyptic to be like, oh, we're going to get good air soon. Like it's so dark. But on a lighter note, I also had a good time doing this podcast. Yeah, this was super fun. And like, I know, like I have friends that message other friends with like voice notes. It's not something that I typically do. But I was excited to try out that format of talking to another person with you and through this podcast. Let's see. Oh, yes, where to find me. I am at It's Lahiru on like everything except for TikTok. I'm It's Lahiru and Shyloh. I have a joint account with my dog. Yeah, but that's me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Huge thank you to Lahiru Samarasinghe. Actually, this has been like the most fun. I love talking to Lahiru in person. He's one of my favorites. I say that every week, but that's because I have a lot of favorites. Comedy has been just this lovely treasure chest of lovely people. I love Lahiru. I'm super glad we got to talk to each other on the phone, even though we usually talk to each other in person. Love it both. Hey, you could follow Lahiru. I'll put his links in the show note. You could also follow me. I am at Shyloh Blake on just about everything, and I'll put those links in the show notes as well. But really, thank you so much for listening, and thank you for telling your friends. If you'd like to keep telling your friends, and remember to leave a little rating on wherever you're listening to this, that'd be super duper, and I would appreciate it a lot. So hey, don't forget to tune in next week to find out what I got up to this week. And don't forget to send someone in your life a voice note this week.